Hey, thanks for returning to my channel. So tonight I want to discuss the Dinesh D'Souza versus Nick Fuentes debate. So first of all, Dinesh D'Souza, he wasn't the underdog. He was polished. He's he's not a politician, but he's like in politics. Let's just say that. He worked for the Reagan administration, I'm pretty sure, and he went to jail for some political stuff, and he's really about that political life. And then Nick Fuentes is a America First white nationalist, and he's very ostracized and he's left on the fringes. And Dinesh D'Souza giving him the debate did bring him more closer to the mainstream and out of the fringes. So that's the context of the interview. The thing that I was waiting for was Nick to call him a Pajit. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. There were no racial there was no racial tension, and there was no insults. There was no insults, and there was no real major character assassinations and name calling and low vibrational content in their debate. But I watched the whole thing, and then after I was on Twitter and I was scrolling and I seen Owen Schroyer, and he summarized it perfectly. And he said that this debate was a generational thing, and that it highlighted the difference between the old generation of neocons versus the new generation of nationalism and America First type people that think that they should go outside and conquest and be imperialistic versus focusing more at home and local issues that Nick is pushing with his messaging. But Dinesh was up against an uphill battle in terms of fighting against people that are not interventionalist. And when you're fighting for more war, that's a tough sell. But he took his time and he was able to defend every position of his argument. Like, he got into how the Americans, when it was first founded, fought against the Barbary pirates. He discussed how they overthrew governments in South America and how that worked out great, regime change. He discussed about different wars that the country was in. And at one point of the interview, he even says that his ideas are completely secular, and that he thinks that his enemies deserve a good bashing here and there to keep him in check, and that America will always need to make new allies. And if you look at that other side of the right wing, there's the religious side. Now, I'm not saying that they're so morally superior and that they don't like war. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that they love war either. But Dinesh D'Souza described himself as purely secular when it comes to politics. The complete, total separation of church and state. But Nick, on the other hand, he wants a white, theocratic, Catholic type of government. So they're two completely weird ideas. But here's what I'm going to say is that the new generation is not on board with war as much as they think they are, if not at all. Dinesh said to Nick, hey buddy, you are like 24 and I've been doing this for over 24 years or something like that. He like shamed Nick for his age and lack of experience. But Nick said to him, but you were a neocon and you supported the Iraq war. And that basically was frivolous and stupid. And then he did concede and agree with Nick. So this debate was supposed to be about Israel and foreign policy, but I think it was mostly just foreign policy. Now, why do I think Nick won? Because Nick is the underdog. If Dinesh didn't completely wipe the floor with Nick, then Nick won. That's how it works. And if you're the champion, if you don't take the belt from the champion and beat the champion up, it's harder to convince yourself that you won. But I'm more of a the stronger has to completely destroy the weaker, and it seemed like Nick survived pretty good. And also, the fact that there was no racism, the fact that there was no name calling, the fact that there was a high level of professionalism shows that the Groyper movement is something Nick, some elements of it he doesn't want to be associated with, and he's realizing that it's costing him, and that to be out in the fringes is hard, and that you have to be a little mainstream in order to go mainstream. So all in all, I think what the main gist of the debate was that Dinesh is talking about policy from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s that people are not very proud of. Not everything, but some things in terms of foreign policy, people are not very proud of. And Dinesh's main gripe with Nick was that you can't be America only. You can't be non-interventionalist. You have to go out there and constantly crack skulls and beat people up in other countries to make your country have its dominance. So that was the philosophical debate. So I think there should be a round two. But anyways, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.